The winds of Umandi were still missing. The forests breathed in silence, and the chosen children Yeri and Mosi followed a glowing path left by the forest guardian, carrying the ancient whispering calabash. The night sky shimmered above them, the moon like a watchful eye. The path they walked was unlike any normal forest trail. The earth glowed softly beneath their feet, blue, like moonlit water. Strange flowers opened as they passed, releasing golden pollen that floated upward like fireflies. Mosi kept swinging his rungu, just in case. Nyeri, why doesn't anything make noise here? No birds, no frogs, not even crickets. Because the wind carries sound, and without it, everything is holding its breath. The forest sleeps, but danger wakes. The whispering calabash hummed in her hands. Nyeri squeezed it tighter. They walked for hours, deeper into the part of the forest that villagers feared. Even the trees seemed older here, twisted, huge, with faces carved into the bark as though the spirits had shaped them with their own hands. The silence pressed against them like a heavy blanket. At some point past midnight, Mosi stopped. Nyeri, look! High above them, on a giant branch, something perched, something crouched, something watching. Its eyes glowed a faint reddish color, too small for a leopard, too big for a monkey. Nyeri reached slowly for her brother's arm. Don't move! The creature tilted its head, studying them like puzzle pieces. Suddenly it dropped from the tree, landing silently in front of them. Its body looked like a mix between shadow and smoke. Its limbs were long and thin. Its eyes glowed from within, like dying embers, and though it had no mouth, a voice echoed from it. Wind keepers, turn back. No, we need to pass. Mosi raised his tiny rungu bravely. The shadow creature inched closer, its form flickering like a burnt candle. The cave of echoes belongs to the one who waits. You do not. Nyeri's hands trembled, but the calabash glowed brighter. Begone, shade of forgotten storms. The creature recoiled violently, its form melting like dark mist. It shrieked without making sound and snapped upward into the branches and vanished. The forest trembled. Mosi swallowed hard. What was that? A messenger? They continued walking, much faster now, but more carefully too. Near dawn, they reached an ancient tree, vast, towering, its trunk wider than any hut. Roots jutted like sleeping serpents. The forest guardian emerged from behind the trunk, glowing faintly. You walked through the night of shadows, few survive it. Mosi puffed out his chest proudly. We are not afraid. The guardian chuckled, bark shifting like cracking wood. Courage is not the absence of fear, little drum. Courage is walking anyway. The guardian knelt, making itself smaller for them. Before you reach the cave of echoes, you must understand why the heart of the wind was stolen. Nyeri frowned. Who took it? The guardian closed its eyes. The forest around them dimmed. Long ago, before your people built the village of Kirima, before even the first wind keepers were born, there was a spirit called Makoro. He was a weaver of storms, a shepherd of winds. But his heart grew bitter when humans were chosen to guard the winds instead of him. So, he became jealous. Jealous, hateful, dangerous. The ground trembled slightly. The heart of the wind was sealed away so he could never touch it. But now, after centuries, he has found a way through the cracks. Nyeri's heart tightened. Then he wants to control the wind. No, he wants to silence it forever. Mosi stepped back in shock. But why? We need wind for everything. The guardian bowed its head. Because without wind, the world becomes still. And in the stillness, Makoro grows powerful. Nyeri's face hardened with determination. Then we have to stop him. The guardian nodded. You are close. Follow the hill. When you hear your own voices whisper back, you will have reached the cave of echoes. And with that, it sank into the roots and disappeared. The hill wasn't tall, but it felt endless. Dry dust replaced the glowing soil. Grass turned pale gray. Birds faded from the sky like ghosts. Halfway up, Nyeri slowed. Mosi, do you hear that? Mosi froze. Something like whispering drifted around them, soft, eerie. but the words were familiar. Those are our voices. Their whispers came from all directions. Nyeri, why did the wind stop? Only the brave can restore the wind. Nyeri gripped the calabash. We're close when they reached the top. The hill dipped suddenly into a deep valley. At its center yawned a massive opening, dark, ethereal, edged with glowing blue symbols. Sound drifted from it, not from any living thing, but from the cave itself. Whispers, echoes, cries, laughter. Then we better listen. The cave swallowed them instantly. The air was ice cold. Every footstep echoed and returned with strange distortions. Hello, hello, low. This place feels alive, alive, live. The calabash glowed brighter, guiding them through. Strange carvings covered the walls, spirals, waves, symbols of storms. The deeper they walked, the louder the voices became. But these were not their echoes. Turn back. Too late. The wind is lost. The storm awakens. Mosi clung to Nyeri's sleeve. Are they trying to scare us? Yes, and it's working. But they pushed on. The tunnel widened into a giant chamber, and there, floating above a stone pedestal, was the heart of the wind, a glowing, swirling sapphire orb, bright, powerful, alive. The calabash hummed once. Nyeri stepped forward, but a blast of cold air threw her back. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall, shapeless, a cloak of swirling mist, eyes like to voids. The air grew heavy. The ground shook. So, the wind children come to steal from me. His voice was deep, layered, ancient. The heart of the wind doesn't belong to you. He moved closer, mist trailing like torn fabric. The winds rejected me. So I will reject them. There will be no wind, no storms, no life. Mosi stepped forward bravely. You're hurting everyone. Give it back. Makoro laughed, a horrible, hollow sound. I owe humans nothing. He lifted his arm. Shadows surged forward like a wave. Nyeri raised the calabash. It glowed brilliant gold. The shadows hissed and recoiled. That relic. I should have destroyed it long ago. He rushed forward. Windless air blasted through the cave. Dust swirled. Rocks shook. Mosi ducked behind a boulder. Nyeri stood her ground, holding the calabash tight. Keeper, lift me high. Nyeri raised it above her head. Light burst outward, golden, powerful, ancient. Makoro screamed soundlessly. You are the chosen heart. Do not fear. Nyeri felt heat rush through her chest. Courage, strength, energy. The calabash shot a beam of light at the heart of the wind. The sapphire orb pulsed. The cave trembled. No, the winds are mine to silence. He hurled shadows at them. Mosi leaped out with his rungu and struck them, surprising even himself. Nyeri, hurry! Nyeri concentrated. The calabash responded. Light increased. The heart of the wind began spinning slowly at first, then faster and faster, creating a tiny breeze. The first breeze Umandi had felt in days. Makoro staggered back. Stop! Nyeri yelled over the noise. We're bringing the wind back. The orb ignited in brilliant blue light. A shockwave erupted, blasting Makoro backward. A massive burst of air exploded outward, rushing through the cave, blowing dust, shadows, and darkness away. The winds were reborn. Outside, trees began to sway, birds took flight, clouds drifted again. The cave trembled, ready to collapse. Nyeri, run! They sprinted toward the entrance as the ceiling cracked. They burst out of the cave just as the entrance collapsed completely. Panting, covered in dust, they looked at each other. The wind brushed their faces, gentle, cool, alive. I missed the wind. Nyeri held up the calabash. It glowed softly, peacefully. When the children reached the village, the wind danced around the huts. Drums rang in celebration. Grandmother Shiku met them first, eyes wet with pride. You have done what many feared. The winds thank you, and so do we. The elders bowed their heads to the children. For the first time, Nyeri and Mosi felt the weight and honor of their destiny. The calabash glowed warmly in Nyeri's hands. The storm sleeps, but the journey continues. Mosi's eyes widened. Wait, what journey? Nyeri smiled sadly. If Makoro escaped into the shadows, he'll return someday. Grandmother Shiku nodded. Then the next part of your story begins soon. The wind whispered through the trees, a calm sigh of relief, but also a warning.